If you mention 419, the only name that comes to mind is Nigeria, just because it was happening.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to the One King Show. My name is Hetty. It's always a pleasure to come your way with interesting and insightful conversations. Kindly subscribe to all our socials at Onekingmultimedia so you don't miss any of the good things we have for you. It's always a pleasure to do this with you, isn't it? Right. And the show is kindly sponsored by One King Mineral Water. A taste of royalty. If you are looking to have luxury when it comes to drinking water, switch on to One King Mineral Water. My name is Hetty, and joining me tonight on Big Plate, as always, you know what happens on Big Plate. We have interesting conversations that is of much interest to you out there, but don't be selfish. Share our link, share our socials and everything so your neighbor and someone else also benefits from that. Joining me tonight in the studio, Sister Affairs on our Big Plate, I have with me Mr. Christian Mensah. Chris, how are you doing?
Hearty delicious. I'm doing good.
That's a good one. And I also have on my left Mr. Nihiano. I have Mr. Richard Kobe Willie. How are you doing?
I'm fine, my dear. How are you doing? Today I'm a changed person. I will be very calm on the show.
It's plenty.
I have some Nigerian friends in the comment section who have been stressing me, so I have to be calm today for them.
Interesting. So let's quickly go to our Big Place. So the conversation today is the tourism in turmoil. Now, Nigeria and South Africa's peace index snob. So after ranking the most peaceful African countries, we realized that Nigeria and South Africa did not make it to the list. That's a deep one, because when we are talking about tourism, we cannot take South Africa out of it. We simply can't also take Nigeria out of it. So they missing out on this peace index is a big one. Now let's quickly look at the ins and outs, some effect on their economy, tourism, and everything at large. And so, Chris, let me come to you. Let's look at the potential revenue loss. Looking at investor side, your country is not a part of, the countries listed to be a peaceful country. Why then do I come and make my investments there?
So I want to take it from the top.
Sure.
Sorry. So in Africa, I think Nigeria ranks 40th, out of 44. There are only 4 places up Sudan, or South Sudan, I should say, which is ranked the least peaceful country here in Africa. In fact, according to the GPI, Global Peace Index, the Global Peace Index is done by Institute of Peace and Economics. Institute of Economics and Peace, as you say. They are situated somewhere in Australia, Sydney, I should say. So it is something that they do. And if you look at the marks that Nigeria generated over the years, in fact, when it came out, in fact, if Nigeria were to be a student in a class, I don't know if he would have been taken back to, he would have been taken to the class before it, or maybe Nigeria would have been repeated because it's a fail, or would have to write remedials or something. It was that bad. I'm sure we are going to go into why some of these things are coming up, but of course, it was just that bad. Now, if I am an investor and I want to invest in a country or in your country, I want to, invest, make some profit. Certainly, these are some of the things I will consider. How peaceful the country is. If the country is not peaceful, it doesn't give me that moral right. It doesn't give me that peace of mind to come and invest in your country. And even if I am coming to invest in your country, I would have to look at how much I am coming to invest into your country. Yes, I need to look at how much, because I wouldn't want to lose so much money. Of course, I am a businessman. I want to make profit. I want to maximize profit, I should say. I want to maximize profit and reduce losses as much as possible. And so if I look at the GPI, now I realize that, Charlie, the country, there's no peace in this country. If you look at South Sudan and what is happening in South Sudan and Nigeria, which is considered as one of the biggest countries in Africa and ranked very low in terms of how peaceful the country is, or even South Africa, in terms of how peaceful the country is, certainly it will not give me that confidence to come and invest in the country. I will take my investment away, or even if I decide to come eventually, I would look at how much I am coming to invest in a country. If my money is 100 million, now I decide to, okay, let me do 1 million or 2 million. So certainly it is not going to give that investor confidence. And so you lose as a country. You lose even tourism. Even tourism. People, how many people would like to come to your country if your country is not peaceful? How many people will be willing to come there, spend time? I mean, I'm afraid. I certainly will be afraid. Yeah, you get it. So it is not a good thing if your country is facing crisis in terms of, peace. If your country is not peaceful, it drives investment away. And investors, it drives investors.
Nice one. Kobe, let me come to you. The potential revenue loss and investor, being skeptical about they coming to your outfit, especially when you've been ranked as a country not peaceful.
Okay, so greetings to whoever is watching. When it comes to these countries and safety and business, every company has a survey they do. So one, they'll look at the population and how well they would be in need of whatever product I would want to invest in their country.
Right.
So whatever I want to invest in the country. So if I sit down and I make this whole balance and checks and I feel it's okay, again, anything you want to do, you take proper steps for security. Mm-hmm. If you want to invest in Nigeria, you need to get proper security.
Right.
Where you might be going in with a convoy and almost everything. I feel the conversation from Adam days, Nigeria has had some of these attacks, like most common is kidnaps and all those things. So as a business, you would want to move forward with whatever you are doing and you would not want to invest in the country. But I say as a team and as someone who is into marketing, you would have to survey and know if the pros and cons, and know if the pros are plenty than the cons, and you know your way forward.
Nice one. Now, let's move on to other interesting aspects of this conversation. So, in every country, there are perceptions when it comes to the security of the country, and there's reality. I mean, what's actually on grounds. Now, let's address security challenges. Looking at the perceptions versus the reality. Now, there's a perception in Nigeria that, this 419, this Kalabule, this, but what's the reality? Now, there's also this reality of, ritual killing, perception, sorry, don't come for me. There's this perception that ritual killing, they're cutting people's head. What is the reality on grounds? Let's look at this, especially now that you've been declared as not a peaceful country.
But reality on grounds, you and I are still not there.
Exactly.
We don't know what is happening over there. Mm-hmm. This is a poll that comes out every year. They tell you this country is safe, that country is safe. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example.
I think you really want the Nigerians to fall in love with you. I know.
Oh no, not that. But I'm just saying the truth.
I know you want to say,
what was Ghana's ranking?
What
was Ghana's ranking on this poll?
Let's talk Nigeria.
No, I'm giving you I'm trying to point some.
I think Ghana is in the top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Yes.
Nice one. Now, have you ever heard that there's been a news that Nigeria, anyone went to do investment there and their monies have been withheld?
Okay.
But Ghana, that is supposed to be the safe space where someone would want to.
You're shading your
country.
I
love my Nigerian brothers. I love you today, man. I love you guys.
He just wants hype from you people.
So, see, in Ghana, we heard a story about Michael Blankson. Mm-hmm. His money went into these bonds and he never got his money again. But I'm not sure we've heard any of that. Like, there might be stories like that.
Obviously, maybe because we are not there.
No, I stand to be, but we sit on the internet, we see whatever happens. And that has not been a topic of discussion. But look at the place they call as a safe place. So I don't really believe in these sort of list or these things that come.
Analysis.
Yeah, I don't believe in these sorts of analysis. Unless I do the research myself, I'll find it hard to believe what is going on. But like I'm saying,
but these
people have gone there.
Have been doing this for the past. I mean,
exactly. They definitely have people on ground.
I'm not against it. I'm not against it, but I would not believe in it.
This happens to be the 17th time they are doing
17
this
years. And you think they never go wrong?
Well, I cannot say, but what I mean to say is that you know, if they have been consistent
they might be right about something.
17th time they have done. I mean,
they might be right about something.
Yes.
Do you know the number of times there are fake blogs that are still working?
I get you.
It doesn't matter.
And there is also this.
It doesn't matter at all.
If you look at the analysis, you realize that the global peace index has actually fallen by 0.42.
There's a lot of chaos going on in the world.
Yes. I understand. But I feel like if some countries don't make it, it doesn't mean there are no safe places. Like, this is someone's list. I can sit one morning and also make my own list and put it online and publish and say, Nigeria is the safest country in the world, or Ghana is the safest country in the world. That is my own observation. So I'm saying, we shouldn't make it look that way, because again, it's an economy they are looking at boosting. So if we make conversations like this, it's like we are trying to stop people from investing in the country. But there are a lot of African countries that we hear worse stories from, where people go and invest their money and landlords or whatever you call it come and take your property. You don't have access to your property. But here's a situation where, because like Nigeria is a loud country, they turn out to be a target for almost everybody who is trying to have a conversation on these things. I believe this is someone's own. And if you would want to invest in any country, you know there are proper things you need to put in place. Look at those who work at the US Embassy. How many consulars do you know in person? But they come into the country and they have a routine. They have how they live their life. Because again, they are here to work. So if you are here to do investments and start your business, you need to make sure there are security checks you go through in terms of who you are employing, how you are investing into your business, and how you progress your business, and even the general security where you move about with. All these things are things you need to consider before you enter somewhere to do business.
Nice. Chris, let's come to you. Let's look at, the reality and then the perception when it comes to security.
So there is a thin line between the reality and
what is being perceived.
Exactly. There's a thin line.
The likelihood of some
You
truth.
see, a while ago, Nigeria was seen as the 419 country. You understand? I mean, these people, they will dupe you, take your money and all of that. Now they decided to channel the energy into something else.
Yeah.
Now, you don't hear about the 419 so much. But of course, if you mention 419, the only name that comes to mind is Nigeria. Just because it was happening. But things have changed now. But people will still hold on to that perception. Do you get it? And so perception is something that is very dangerous. But the thing is that if nothing is happening, why would people perceive that, people might have seen that, some things are not really done right or are not going on. Some things are not going on right. So that is why they are perceiving or having that kind of perception. So for me, there's a thin line between perception and the reality. The reality may be far away from the perception, or they may be close. So, as it was mentioned by Wole, if you are a businessman or you are an investor, you want to invest in whichever country, what do? You go there, exactly. Do the checks. Certainly, that is what you have to do. Even here in Ghana, there are some places which are very, very peaceful. You see, it's cut across. I mean, it comes as something that affect the whole of the nation. But if you come to Ghana, or even this index or GPI which came out, I don't think that all places in Nigeria face security reasons.
Yeah.
There may be some specific
so
places.
I want to chip in. Like I give you, it's like you want to open an Apple shop and you say you're opening it in Takrady, and you go into a month where the gateway is. There's no way you do. You definitely don't want to go there. You would want to go to.
So there are definitely some peaceful
place
places in Nigeria.
Exactly. But of course, when these things come out, it is something that is on the nation. It is done for the nation. But
it's a general thing.
It's a general thing.
I understand all those things.
But if you are an investor, you go in there, you also do your checks and check all the ins and outs and everything. You realize that there are some places that are actually peaceful and business friendly.
Let me give you an example before we end. Let me give you an example. If you are in Africa and you want to do crypto trading, like you want to invest in crypto, I'm not sure you would want to come to Ghana and come and do that business.
No.
Almost everybody who is trying to invest in crypto in the last probably 10 years or something goes to Nigeria because that's where the market for crypto is high.
Right.
Unlike here, that probably crypto might not even be the art of conversation in our part of the world. So I believe all these things are things that you take into consideration when you're starting your business. As I'm starting my business, I know that, okay, I can do this in Ghana. I can do this in Nigeria. Don't forget about those security and all those blah, blah, blah. It's just your own survey.
Right. Now, let's move on to other aspects of the conversation. So now, let's look at our neighboring countries. How is this GPI going to affect tourism? Let's look at Nigeria. Like, aside looking at Nigeria, you know that when we have these diasporas coming down, they Google a peaceful neighborhood. I remember when I was even going to London, there are some neighborhoods that I really wanted to visit. And I was just on my phone.
London Bridge.
Is this neighborhood safe? Is this neighborhood that? And I was getting, feedbacks. Oh, there are, phone snatch happening in this area. So when you go to this area, you keep your valuables safe. When you do that, definitely people will be checking. So having a country being ranked as not a peaceful country, let's look at the effect tourism has on these countries.
It's a serious thing. Yeah, it is certainly not a pretty thing. And you know how tourism drives the economy. Yeah, especially for Africa, not even for Africans alone, but across the globe. It is one of the things that drive economy. If you go to the northern part of Africa, now the likes of Dubai, Qatar, they realize that the oil will certainly, we wouldn't have oil forever. And so they are looking at tourism. And so tourism is one of the things that actually drives the economy of a country these days. I think it's been there, but we are seeing the effect of it now. Even in Ghana here, after the renovation works at the Nkrumah Mausoleum, the amount of money.
1 million
exactly.
Yes.
Monthly or something like that. Yes, that is the amount of money it is generating for us. The meager 35,000, which it was generating, we have moved on. We are talking about millions now.
Yeah.
So tourism is a big deal, especially here in Africa. Drives our economy. Now there is that index. This thing comes out, and what we are hearing is that this country is not a peaceful country. How many people would want to visit the place? You understand? But it all also comes back to the point that, okay, what is the reality on the ground? If someone has the opportunity to know the reality on the ground, fine, the person certainly will know the line to toe. But if the person hasn't been to your place before, the person hasn't heard of Nigeria before, and the very first time the person gets to know about Nigeria, they are saying that it is not a peaceful country. How motivating will it be for the person to travel to Nigeria or travel to South Africa?
No, but the funniest part is these countries that we are talking about, they're like probably South Africa and Nigeria, are the ones that have most of these foreign companies starting their businesses up in Africa.
Yes.
Most of these foreign companies come and they set their headquarters over there.
They boast of the numbers. Don't forget.
Exactly.
They boast of the numbers.
Exactly. So I feel as a businessman, you want to run
no,
a
we are
business.
looking at it.
You look at it. You
look
think
for
about
is
security.
the survey.
It's the survey you do because, but you see, nowhere in this world is safe.
If you are going on a tour, then certainly you consider some of these things.
Like Willie said, nowhere in this world is safe.
Nowhere in
Yes.
this world is safe.
We have
Yes.
Americans, fighting hurricanes and tornadoes and all that.
Exactly.
Ghana is
Nowhere is
fighting.
safe.
America
Ghana
is
is fighting economy.
America that
Nigeria
people
is
want
fighting
to go
economy.
to. America that people want to go to is not one of the most peaceful countries in this
I
world.
know.
The top 10, America is not part. The top 10,
But a lot of people want to go there.
yes, the top 10 most peaceful countries in the world as at 2023, 7 of them from Europe. 7 of them from Europe. And then the other 3 we have the MENA, Middle East,
Middle East.
North America, Africa.
I see.
You understand? Middle East, North Africa. Those are the other 3, which adds up to the top 10. Those that the region define
Like
themselves.
I'm
So for
saying.
me, just as I was saying, for me, it's about you. It's about because people want to go to America, but it is not one of the most peaceful countries in the world.
This world, nowhere is safe. Even heaven, at a point, it wasn't safe. That's why God sacked Satan to earth. At a point, his presence didn't make the place safe, so he was sacked. So, like, nowhere is safe. Like, anything can happen to your business any day, anytime, anywhere. So sometimes it's just about you yourself and how you'd want to push your business or do your business. If you all want to look at it that, there's a post that Nigeria is not safe, Ghana is safe, this one is safe, you might end up messing your target market. You might end up messing your target audience because you were reading some polls online saying this place is safe. But the place that they are telling you is safe...
It actually made you miss out on your business
yes,
and all
the
that.
place they are telling you is safe, you might enter there and you meet your disaster over there. So it's just yourself.
A nice one. Now, after spelling out the problems, let's look at strategies for rebuilding our neighboring countries. So when it comes to peace, so Nigeria and South Africa. I love South Africa for their weather. I love South Africa for their how do I even call it? Their culture. Way of life, dressing,
January, let's go on a
food.
trip there. January, let's just go.
Are you toasting me?
January.
a trip to South Africa.
Yeah, trip
Here
to
we
SA,
come.
Joburg, and all those places. Let's go there. You and I, baby girl, I got you.
Anyway, so now let's look at strategies for building, Nigeria and South Africa's peace image. What are some of the ways you think? Because I feel with Nigeria, they're using movies, music,
yes.
These concepts
How
to
you
make, to make the country
and
welcoming.
they have gone a very long way.
We're doing this
to do that.
This.
I tell you, in fact.
But I feel maybe there's still more to do.
You remember I mentioned
because trust me, image is image.
Yes,
when it's imprinted in the minds of people,
exactly.
It's going to take a very long time.
Remember, I also said in my earlier submission that anytime gone are the days when you mention 419, people just
think about Nigeria.
Now that thing gradually, has been moved out or removed out of people's minds. Now you talk about Afrobeats, you're related it to Nigeria. Here in Africa, we talk movies and we go to Nigeria. Music, Nigeria. They have channeled that energy. They have tried as much as possible to remove that from people's minds. And I think they have done great with that. In fact, Nigerians, you have to give them thumbs up for that singular thing that they have done. They realized that the entertainment could actually do the magic for them. And yes, indeed, it has done. So it is one of the ways, movies, but sometimes, people also get to fear Nigeria because of some of the things they also show in their movies as well. Because money rituals, and so people think that if you go to Nigeria, at a point, growing up and watching Nigeria, we thought that,
they're all about rituals.
I tell you, when you're walking on the street, you see people, moving around looking for money rituals and all of that. But it isn't like that. So sometimes the things we show in our movies,
you think they can help
cleaning. Of course, it can. It can have impact on the perception people would have for the country.
And this Boko Haram issues, also coming from Nigeria, also becomes a problem. Yeah.
Yes. So
it's in the past, but it's been printed in the minds of people for a very long time.
All of these put together, it prints some kind of perception in people's minds about you.
Right.
Yes. So, but the same movie, that same channel can also be used to turn things around.
Right.
Music. So entertainment in particular can be used to turn things around. You understand? And the way you speak to people out there, the way if you travel to someone's country, how do you behave? How do your people behave when they travel from their country to another person's country?
That's also.
You understand? I think somewhere last 2 years, it came that if you go to America, the most hardworking people are Ghanaians. The most hardworking Africans, I should say.
Was it somewhere last year? Dubai actually, the Arabs actually banned Nigerians.
Yeah.
They placed a ban on them visiting. I think all these things sense a signal.
Exactly.
How you my behave. People, my country people, on you too much. Now what? Fish pie.
You see, when you behave this way, when you go to other people's country, it becomes a problem. All these contribute to the GPI. Your behavior in other people's country. You should behave well, behave yourself.
Willie, let me come to you. Do you believe that this xenophobia issue that happened in South Africa somewhere 2 years ago, burning people, beating another, do you think this actually is, reflected in
yes, it's
whole thing?
It's a contributing factor.
This is not the first time
nobody
xenophobia has happened in South Africa. So what can be done? Could there be a way out, a different way to address
this South African conversation you're having is something that has been dead since
very long time.
Lucky Dube, as an example, the artist who died. A couple of guys have died in South Africa. Even the rapper who died, AK some years ago. A clear example.
AK was last year.
No, 2 years ago, 2022. 2024.
Yeah.
2 years.
AK.
Yeah.
AK was last year.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Or am I running too fast?
I guess. AK
you can
was
try and Google it
year.
and check it out. It was 22. But like I'm saying, these things happen. Like in every country, there are the goods and bad. But how we would want to project is now we have social media at our expense. Where we can use to project our country in the right light. This day and age, where from the craze for people to go to Zanzibar, where did they come from? But it was because it was a constant effort by these people to project Zanzibar as a place.
Tanzanians.
Yes, to promote Zanzibar. So you're going to, it's in East Africa, right? You're going to East Africa.
Yeah.
So that's the, so
you hear Zanzibar in their songs.
Yeah, in almost every song, Zanzibar almost everywhere. Zanzibar. So people want to go and see what's at Zanzibar. So I feel it's high time. South Africa has got nice places. They can try and project or even use football, music, any form to project your country in a light where it takes you away from that. See, the Nigeria conversation we keep on having, you see Nigeria is 40th. If it wasn't for the projection of their movies and some of the good things they are projecting, and they would be 100 and something. They wouldn't be 40th. But because now the attention is gradually swaying from the 419 and all those things.
If you look at the countries in the GPI, I think there are about 163 countries or so.
So Nigeria would have been 161.
In fact,
they'll be out of the door.
In fact, Nigeria ranks 144th.
Now, wow.
But if you are screening to Africa, then they become the 40th. Lucky them.
You see?
Lucky them.
So the whole world, they rank 144th.
Interesting. Out of 163
countries in the GPI.
What have you guys been doing? Throwing bombs to your country?
So like I'm saying, but Nigeria is a safe place. I have been to Lagos before. It's a beautiful place.
Lagos is not the only place.
But I use as an example. I have been to Lagos.
So say that Lagos is safe. Don't say Nigeria is safe.
It's part of the country.
Yeah, I would say Lagos is safe.
I've not been to Abuja before.
Good.
But like I'm saying, all these things, when you go there are rumors that you can't even take an Uber at night. These hailing service, you can't take it around 1.
But that's so not true.
Like I'm saying, there's a rumor. That's why I said there's a rumor.
People go out partying late nights and all that, and they take cars.
But they say most of them have their own cars. That's the only reason why they go and party.
Una, they do too much.
Fish pie.
Wait,
wow.
Now let's move on to government response to some policy reforms and initiatives that they can put in place to help when it comes to Nigeria's peace and South Africa's peace. Now, let's look back into time. You remember, is it the NSAS? You remember Nigeria?
Yeah.
People were shot. People were hurt. That whole demonstration that happened there. Now, I think one other thing maybe the government can also look out for in Nigeria is, I think, the little thing then the citizens are running on the streets for demonstration. Have you realized this? At the least frustration, Mohbad's death, had millions of people out there protesting. Fuel surges and all that. You get people out there. Presidents voting. People. I'm like, the least thing, they are out. What can the government do to at least, I'm not saying don't demonstrate. That's your right. Let's find a way.
Hetty.
It can't be always,
Hetty,
in addressing...
Hetty, African leaders need to listen to the youth. If they listen, this conversation wouldn't happen.
You have a point.
People going on the street to them because they feel like when we talk, you don't listen.
You have a
but when we run on the street, you listen.
Have you also thought of the fact that we want the government to plant a tree at Kojokrum because we feel when the tree is there is beautiful. But governments feel we will plant the tree. But let's plant airport trees on before we plant Kojokrum. But citizens will say, Chinchina, we want you to plant. Sometimes
you are the ones who vote for you.
I get
the analysis.
Sometimes
I get analysis here.
Sometimes there could be a way out of things. It's different when government say we won't do it at all. But when government says we will do, but with time, it's a different thing. But when they say we won't do, we are not even. I was about to say something. It's okay.
I'll do undo.
You see, when government say we won't do at all, that's different. But when government says we will do, give us time.
They would never say that. Their actions will tell you they wouldn't do or they would do. Their actions will tell you.
So for me, I feel this constant demonstration, this riots and all that going on in Nigeria.
Occurs everywhere across the globe.
But sometimes the demonstration in Nigeria is like a riot.
Because there are plenty.
So demonstration where people are being shot, houses and cars are being burnt. No, let's not support that.
I'm asking a question. Who are the ones who shoot?
And who are the ones who burn?
Who are the ones who shoot? You said something.
And who are the ones who burn?
They burn ties and those things.
No. Willie, didn't you follow the NSAS thing that happened?
Everything. They have the cause for what they were doing. Let's not go to the NSAS.
No, that is a typical example. Let's come to Ghana and use an example. So these protesters who are on the streets, right, demonstrating, the police is there to guard you and make sure you don't go wayward. Okay. So now imagine you are protesting, right? You have a cause on which you're protesting. What happens to you going to take car keys from the policeman's car? What happens to you, trying to impose yourself on the police? It's like, my ball. And so
that was provocation.
So definitely the police will retaliate.
That was provocation.
So listen, let's bring it to Nigeria. They're on the street protesting for a good cause, of course. We are all going through it. Nigeria is also having their share. They are preaching their message. You think the police will get up and start shooting people? No. To everything there is a what?
Harriet.
No. You're calling me Harriet today. They said to every action there's a cause, or to what? Help me with that statement.
I didn't say that.
To every action there is a reaction.
There is a reaction. So definitely, thank you. This is what I'm saying. Looks like sometimes people forget how to demonstrate and why we are demonstrating, and we get carried away. But see this card from the police card. You see when I said you were laughing.
No, for that one. You
see, sometimes some things are unnecessary when you are doing in demonstration.
That one is
setting
not serious.
people's cars ablaze, burning. You are protesting. It is a walk with placards speaking for you, wearing your koja and all that. It's enough. Do you have to be like violent?
There's this local proverb in Ghana. They said, "Insure tap on war." When the water passes the frog inside, the frog will do war.
You've also forgotten the police. You've forgotten.
No, see.
So all these demonstrations they do in Nigeria that is not done well. This is a reason why you people are not catching the GPI. Because people sit back and they watch burning ties. They've heard out of the demonstration 3 people are dead. This is like a coup. What's going on? You want them to hear you? Yes, but sometimes it should be done right. Aside that bashing the protesters, now let's come to government. What are you people doing that your people feel they are not being heard? Main reason why they keep jumping onto the street. Constant demonstration all the time. It's never a good picture. I feel this is what is affecting Nigeria. And then this xenophobia issue. Like, South Africa is for everyone. Since when did we have to kill foreigners for coming into the town? Like why?
Harriet,
what can the government do? Let's look at the initiatives government can put in place.
See, the issue with people in Africa now demonstrating, of course, it's not only Nigeria and South Africa and Eastern Africa and the rest are all doing their own thing. But one thing is, you see, post-COVID, every country has had financial downs.
Yeah.
And looking at the Russia-Ukraine war and all those things. But here's a situation where the normal citizen sits back and it's like, okay, we all know things are tough, but you still have government officials, you are still paying them those huge amounts of money. Why is it that now that your expenditure, now that the money you have is low, why don't you cut off your expenditure? But you are still spending like when you had money. It's like, let me give you a clear example. It's like a daddy at home. You wake up early in the morning, you run away because you don't have money to give your kids. You are supposed to leave maybe 50 cedis at home. You leave 2 cedis and you run away because your money is not up to it. Now, in the evening, you come home and you are drunk and your mouth is smelling of suya and all of those things. How would I believe that you are broke? As a kid, you are leaving home, you run away because there is no money. You come back home and you are drunk and your mouth smells of food. It means you are deliberately hurting us. That is what the youth see today. Because if not for anything, with the use of social media, we know this is the kid of probably the Minister of Finance. This is the kid of something. And you look at the life they are living on social media, the posh life they are living, the cars they flashing. You stand on the street side and you see the kind of Porsches they use and all those things. I will be angered that why are they doing this to me? There are things that you can fix with the power you have, but you are failing to fix it. Rather, you are thinking about taking flights that you would swim in jacuzzi in the flight. You are thinking about you are thinking about building a cathedral that maybe might not be of importance to me. When I know if the economy is right, I can buy fuel at a certain rate. So all these things come, and most of these African youth, we are now enlightened to the world. Like, the world is a global village because of this gadget we all hold. We see what happens in America. We have friends who go to the United States and tell you, oh, and now I work and I make $500 an hour. $500 you calculate into your currency. You know that it is your 1 year salary. You calculate and you know it's your 1 year salary. What are you going to do about that? So you get furious as a person. You're like, why? People are being paid per hour in advanced countries. You sit here per month, and even the per month is not up to someone's per hour. So you sit back as a person and you're like, these people are cheating me. So what I'll do is I'll have to hit the street and let them know we are angry enough. We are not angry enough. That's the word people always say. People don't just demonstrate because they want to demonstrate. I have never been on a demonstration riot before. I personally don't like those things, so I don't get involved. But you see, those who go and do those things have their main reasons why. That's why you look at me that way.
STBD.
I never went.
You're not a part of STBD.
No.
You never champion on social media.
Oh, social media, they will throw tantrums.
So I'm trying to tell you that
I was throwing tantrums, but I didn't go there.
There are different ways of demonstrating.
I didn't go.
Some people will go on demonstration using the xylophone. Is it xylophone or your friend is xylophone?
Mammophone.
Megaphone.
Yes, mammophone.
Some too go out with placards and not say a word. Mm-hmm. Some too will be on their keypad.
Yes.
So you were
keypad warriors.
Yes, you were a protester.
I was doing that.
You were a protester.
Some will go on hunger strike and all of that.
That's on you. That's on you. If you get ulcer, if you get ulcer, that you.
So you were an online protester
because of somebody.
You want to go on a hunger strike here?
Maybe the hunger there is you that you don't have money. You don't have money and you want to go on a hunger strike. So like I'm saying, like the example I gave, all these people look at these things and they feel the only way to hear my voice is by me protesting. And they would go through the process of doing all those things. So I believe let's not even go against this. That's their job. They are doing their own.
What I am saying, and do not get me wrong, there is no problem with you demonstrating. Demonstration is your right.
Yeah, we always condemn the excesses.
The excesses is what I am against. And the excesses is what is making them miss out on the GPI. Because, wait a minute, I'm demonstrating, telling the government we need water. We need lights. Our roads are bad. End of demonstration, we go back to do whatever. Without hearing casualties. Should that be a problem? Definitely not. Africa is not the only place we demonstrate. So, in the other parts of the world, demonstration goes on. But there should be nothing like demonstration with casualties. You did not achieve what you went out to do.
So demonstration without violence.
Yes, that is the way to go. Exactly. Because it's your right. You can't walk into the parliament house to tell them this is what I want. But collectively, if we're on the street, they are watching, they hear us. You are sending a message to the other parts of the world that this is what is going on and we need our people to hear. Perfect way to go. But when it ends up with casualties, they burn
for those
that's
who
a no.
We don't support those things.
Yes,
those
that's what I'm talking about.
In the past, all these things were there, but because of social media, it's re-echoing them. Some years before, if they will talk about the salary of probably the revenue authority boss, it will be probably on one morning show and you have no knowledge about it. But now they bring it on social media. You get to read it. You know that they're even paying for his glasses.
And you get to see
You to go into Paris.
They are paying for his glasses that he
Let's
wears.
pay for your manicure.
You get to see his face slip. And you go like,
Mbano.
So as it stands now,
some of them are even not working.
Pele.
They are getting paid.
as it stands now, there's a lot that is being exposed on social media and it's causing people to be frustrated.
Exactly.
And so I think the great way to go is for government to listen to the people, listen to them. So they share out some of their things and we'll find a way to go. Right. And this is where we draw down the curtain for our big play tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Kindly subscribe to our socials because we've got more in store for you. Thank you for your time. We will see you same time next week. Bye.